In this video, I'll go through some grammar and expressions in Lesson 6 第6课 Dialogue 1对话1 and the topic you recall is 约时间 to make an appointment. Let's first look at how 约 is used in 约时间. 约 is a verb and it means make, as in to make an appointment or to ask out or invite. It can also mean to arrange a meeting. So the simplest way is to use it this way. A 约 B plus a verb phrase. So A 约 B to do whatever activity that follows. Let's look at some examples. 我约你去看电影. I ask you out to see a movie, or I invite you to see a movie. 他约了我去打球. He invited me or asked me out to go play ball. 约了, it's already been completed, so we can use past tense here. 我要约他去吃饭. I will invite him to go eat food. 要 plus 约 makes it future tense. 我明天才约他去跳舞. I won't invite him to go dancing until tomorrow. Remember, 才 not until tomorrow. And so in all these cases, you can translate 约 as ask out or invite. It's used exactly as 请, but the difference is if you use 请 instead of 约, it implies that you are the host or that the person being invited, in this case, B, is an esteemed guest. But 约 is simply making an appointment. So I ask you out to go see a movie. I am making an appointment with you to go see a movie. And that's the difference. In conversation, we often use 约 as in 约时间 or 约个时间 to make an appointment. Let me illustrate. A says, 我们约个时间去看电影好吗? We'll plan a time, arrange a time to see a movie. Okay? B answers, 好，明天下午怎么样? Okay, how about tomorrow afternoon? Here's another example. A says, 你们约个时间吃饭吧. How about you guys arrange a time to get together and eat? B says, 好，我等一下给他打电话. Yeah, okay, I'll call him in a moment. 等一下 means in a moment. Now I want to talk about 给. In its simplest sense, 给 means to give, as in A 给 B a thing. 弟弟给我一个球. Younger brother gives me a ball. 我给了妈妈一杯茶. I gave mom a cup of tea. 爸爸要给我一瓶水. Dad will give me a bottle of water. So anytime you have A 给 B followed by a noun, A is giving B that thing. But in this lesson, look at Grammar 1 on page 156, 第156页. We're using 给 with an action, not with a noun. So how does that change the meaning? 给 with an action. 给 can be thought of as a preposition to or for when used this way. A 给 B plus a verb phrase. In this sentence structure, A does an action described in this verb phrase to or for B. For example, 李友给老师打电话. 打电话 is call on the phone. So 李友 calls on the phone to 给 to 老师 to the teacher. So in other words, the English translation is Leo calls the teacher on the phone. In this usage, you may also think of 给 as to give, as in to give a service to someone. And so let's take a look at a few examples. Leo 给老师打电话. Leo calls teacher on the phone or makes a phone call to the teacher, right? You can think of it as to, but you can also think of it as Leo gives the teacher a phone call, a call on the phone. But just note that 打电话 has to be a verb phrase. So verb and object of the verb here. Let's look at the second example. 我给你介绍一下我的妹妹. I'll give you a brief introduction of my younger sister. In other words, I will introduce my younger sister briefly to you. So as you can see, you can think of 给 as to or for. Also, you can think of it as to give. In this sentence structure, if you need to add an auxiliary verb or helping verb, you put it right in front of 给. Let's look at some examples. 我想给他打电话. I would like to call him on the phone. 王鹏要给我看他的照片. Wang Peng will show me his pictures. Or Wang Peng will give me his pictures for me to look at. So that's a more literal translation. So auxiliary verbs or helping verbs go in front of the 给. Now let's look at 要是. 要是 is an easy way to say if, and it's used in an if-then conditional sentence. Here's the sentence structure. 要是 plus the condition, comma, and you follow it with a result or question. Here are some examples. 要是我有时间, 我想去打球. If I have time, I would like to go play ball. 要是您方便, 我4点去看你. If it's convenient for you, I'll go see you at 4 o'clock. 要是朋友约你打球, 你什么时候有空? If your friend invites you to play ball, when do you have time? 要是你不去学校, 你去哪儿? If you don't go to school, where will you go? Now I'll briefly go through grammar point number 2 of this lesson, and it can be found on page 157, 第157页 in your textbook. And this grammar point talks about the modal verb 要. And basically, if you have 要 plus a verb, it makes this action of the verb future tense. Let's look at an example. 明天下午2点我要给10年级考试. Tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, I will give the 10th grade class a test. Note that when 要 is used as a modal verb, to make it negative, you change it to 不, not 不要. So let's look at this example. Tomorrow afternoon, I will give the 10th graders a test. If you want to change it to I won't, you simply replace this with 不. Now you have 明天下午2点我不给10年级考试. Tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, I won't give the 10th grade class a test. I do want to issue an ambiguity alert here because 要 has many usages. It can mean to want, will, meaning in the future tense, or need. How it is translated will depend on the context. Let's look at the 2 instances this appears in this lesson. 今天下午我要开会. This afternoon, I will have a meeting, or I will attend a meeting, be in a meeting. And because the afternoon is in the future, it makes sense that this is will. This afternoon, I will be in a meeting. Let's look at the second case. 我下午3点要给2年级考试. I would say in this case, it can be translated 2 ways. 我下午3点要给2年级考试. That's in the afternoon, so it's in the future, so it could certainly be 3 in the afternoon. I will give the second year students a test. But it can also mean I need to, have to. This afternoon at 3 o'clock, I have to give a test to the second year students. In either of these cases, it's unlikely it means want. Because 要 has so many meanings, if I want to say I want to, I would add 想 in front of the 要, like this. Now it becomes 今天下午我想要开会. This afternoon, I would like to attend a meeting. And in this case, you could actually get rid of the 要, right? 我想开会, which is what you learned before. So there is some ambiguity to using 要, but you just have to take a close look at the context and see which translations make the most sense.